So what is self-love? What does it mean? How do you know that you love yourself? How is this topic even a topic? Shouldn't everyone just love themselves? Like, isn't that a given? These were all questions that I wondered. These were all thoughts that I had. I knew I loved myself. Yes, I love myself. I mean, what kind of question is that? But it isn't that simple. As I dove into my self-love journey, I found that out. Self-love is something that you're always doing. It's something that's always growing. It's something that's always developing. There are always new notches and new levels to reach. It's something that should be incorporated in our everyday life. It's not just one day I think I'm going to work on some self-love and then I'm not going to do that for a few months. Like, it's more than that. So for me, self-love is being at peace with my mind. It's being at peace with my body and my soul. Knowing that I'm in control. I'm in control of the situations that I go through. I'm in control of my reactions. I can just do it. I can let everything go and focus on me. And that's okay. And then lastly, I want to say that self-love to me means that I recognize all of my talents. And I'm trying to develop those. But then I also, on the flip side, recognize some of my flaws. So it's not always just recognizing all the positive things that you go through in life. It's also taking control of those negative things. So I have a few tips for you guys today that I have incorporated into my life and I've used on my self-love journey, and they have really helped. And once you start doing them, it only takes a short amount of time to kind of develop your routine. The hardest part is the consistency and giving yourself time and patience, and to know that it's okay if you mess up. There are going to be times and situations that you go through that bring you down and make you feel just icky. I don't know how to better say it. They just make you feel icky. You can take control of those situations and you can move forward. And once you get to the other side and you're through that situation and you kind of look back on that storm that's behind you, you feel so much better. You just feel so much better. So throughout life, we kind of lose ourselves. I'm a mom and a wife, and those sometimes feel like they take precedence over whatever I have going on. But I started to realize that if I'm not right, if I'm not good, I can't be the best mother that I want to be. I can't be the best wife that I want to be. So I have to be good with me. And the first step was recognizing that there was an issue, recognizing that I had some confidence issues, recognizing that I had some self-esteem issues and some love issues, and trying to focus on fixing those. Once you recognize that, hey, I do have some anxiety, I do have some stress in my life, I do have some depression that I'm going through, and you work towards fixing those issues, you'll be a much better mom, you'll be a much better wife. And I still have days where I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I can't do this. But I have people that will sit down with me and, just breathe through the situation, or even just recognizing that I'm anxious and moving forward. So the first tip is recognition. The second tip that I have is to stop putting boundaries on your success, on your potential, on just all the things that you're able to do in life. We kind of think, I'm here and this is where I'm comfortable. This is where I can go, and that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not gonna go past that level. And sometimes we unknowingly do that. We don't let all those boundaries go and say, hey, I'm here, but I have an endless pool of possibilities. It doesn't matter. I'm capable of doing all of these things. So when I stop putting boundaries on myself and saying, I can only do this, or I can only be in this situation, or I can only help or benefit this kind of person, and you let that go, your possibilities are endless. And my third tip is to stop comparing yourself to other people. This was really hard for me because I found myself on YouTube or on Instagram. Those are my two main platforms. And I just would search through all this stuff, and I see all these beautiful women and I see all these beautiful things, and I'm like, how did they get there? I want to be there. I need to morph myself into this situation. I need to be this kind of person. And when you are so focused on what everyone else has, you miss all the things that you're made of. You miss all of the attributes that you have. And I started to notice as I leaned back and kind of took a step back from social media, I found more and more things that I liked about myself, more things that made me happy, true happiness. For example, I like yoga. but weightlifting is really big right now. So I would watch all these weightlifting pages, follow all these weightlifting people, and try to morph myself and do that. But I've learned over time, I like weightlifting. It's fun. I like how it makes me feel, but I love yoga. Like, I love yoga. So you kind of recognize what brings you true joy when you let all that social media and all those influences go. Granted, there are some awesome people out there, and there are people sharing their stories of happiness and just all of the positive things that are going on. But when you tend to focus on those and not on yourself, you kind of lose that love. You lose that energy and that drive to search for what's in you. Another thing that really helped was fasting from social media. So I always associated fasting with like religious practices, but you can fast from different things in your life. For me, it was social media. I let 3 days go by and I wouldn't look at social media at all. And then I let 7 days go by, and then eventually I deleted all of my apps and I just was absent. And you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone any justification. You just are absent, and it made me feel so much better. I was able to get in touch with me and kind of find out some things that I was struggling with and why I was struggling with those. Tip number 4 is meditation. So when I first thought about meditation, I was like, there's no way I'm going to sit still and just focus on my breathing kind of thing. I had this whole mindset made up of what meditation was and what it looked like and what I should do and how I should do it. Meditation is what you want it to be. It's a vast variety of things and different practices, and you don't have to seclude yourself to one thing. So what has worked for me is that when I meditate, I have to take my problems head on. If there are a few thoughts that are floating around and I just can't let them go, I deal with them. I twist them around, I think about them, I play with them, I try to come up with solutions. And then it kind of eases my worry, eases my anxiety. And then once those are kind of floating around, then I can focus on my breathing. And I can be thankful and grateful for where I am and where I'm going, and just embark on my journey and just embrace that moment. So there are different ways to meditate. But ultimately, what works for you and what makes you feel good is the most important. That's why we're on this self-love journey. Self-care can be looked at in many different ways. When I think of self-care, I think of the physical side, but then I also think of the mental and emotional side. The physical side is more of taking care of my body, like developing a skin routine. My skin used to be clear. Now I have pimples and breakouts and dark spots, and I'm kind of self-conscious about that. And it all resulted from me kind of letting go. I kind of just let go. I didn't take care of my skin. I didn't take care of my body as much as I used to. And it diminished my self-confidence. Another thing for me is yoga. Like I mentioned before, I prefer yoga over weightlifting. But it's because yoga just gives me so much energy. Like, it gives me so much energy. It's challenging. For me, it challenges my body, but then it also challenges my mind. Like, training my mind and playing games with myself and developing that confidence, developing that determination. I'm gonna get through this. And I know that sounds, extra. Like, how do you develop all that from yoga? I don't know, but it works, and it works for me. So just finding some sort of exercise or some sort of thing that gets you out and gets you going and makes you feel good. Another thing is dance. Like, I love to dance. I love to move. I love to move my body. I love to shake my booty. Okay, I love to just do everything related to dance. And I kind of lost that because I just didn't have time. So now I make time while I'm cooking or while I'm cleaning or, while I'm just chilling. Like, I dance. I just move around. I move my body. I listen to music. I do things that make me happy. And just that little thing every day could change a situation, It could change your life. Doing little things that make you happy every day can overall just make your situation a lot better. Another thing is cleanliness. So I'm very tight on the reins. I like my house to be clean, look a certain way, feel a certain way, and that's just how I want it. Having a clean space and a clean just everything makes me feel clear, makes my mind just feel empty, like a clean slate, like I'm ready to begin. So cleanliness and having the environment around me clean breeds cleanliness in myself and then in my mind. And that's just how it works for me. The last self-care tip would be writing in a diary. So when I was little, I would write in a diary. I didn't realize what good of a practice that was. I just was writing down how angry I was at this situation, how this person made me mad, and how I was just upset and I was ready to be an adult and I wanted to change this and change that. So now I kind of incorporate that journaling, as we call it now, into my everyday life. So I use it as a time to reflect on the situations that I'm going through, reflect on the things that I'm thinking about, and kind of just get it all out. Because when it's in my mind and it's all jumbled around, it's hard for me sometimes to decipher what's real, what I can let go, what I need to work on. But when I write it down, it's more clear and I can read through it. I like reading through my journals. I like reading through my diaries, reading about the emotions I was feeling or the things that I was going through, and then kind of seeing how I've grown and where I am now. Another big thing that I didn't used to incorporate when I was little is gratitude. So being grateful for where I'm at, being grateful for the things that I have, being grateful for the seat I'm in right now, for the shoes I'm wearing right now, for the things that I have now that I didn't have before, or you never know what could happen or where I could be in the future. I didn't realize how important gratitude was. If you're always thinking about the negatives and you're never grateful for the positive things, what good is life? What good is this whole self-love thing? What good is anything if you're not grateful for what you have and where you are? If you always take everything for granted, you're going to expect things, and then once you expect things, you're going to be disappointed if you don't get it. So just focusing on being grateful and being positive. Don't get me wrong, even though I've given you all these tips, I still fall short. Let me repeat, I still fall short, and that's okay. We're not perfect. We're not going to change in a day. We're not going to change in a minute, in a week. It takes time. And that's hard for me because once I get hooked onto something, I want, immediate gratification. I want it to happen right here, right now. And why am I not seeing results? This self-love journey has helped me in so many different ways. And I'm excited. I get joyous. I get happy, thinking about where I'm going to be in life and what things are out there for me. And I think the end goal that we should never forget is that once you feel those vibes, you feel that energy, it's your job to get it out. It's your job to let those around you know. Let them in on your secret. Let them know that they're worth it, they're important, that they need to love themselves before they can love anything or anyone else. And it takes time. It really does. So I'm so happy to have shared this with you guys and let you guys in on some of my tips, and know that my journey is still going. I'm still learning. I'm still developing. Let me know in the comments what you guys do and how you love yourself and what self-love means to you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.